Hello. I think everyone here knows who I am. My name is HD Marissa. So I would like to share my testimony with you guys from where God has brought me now from where I was a year ago. I'm going to talk a little bit slow and clear for Pastor Eugen because she is translating. So this time last year, I was working at a doctor's office, and the doctor's wife was attending this church, and they ended up, there was some incident that happened, and I needed to find a new job. Well, I ended up getting really sick. Like, I don't remember being that sick since I was like a little kid. And I couldn't go to work. And then I got a text message from Pastor Eugen saying, well, you need to quit your job. So I quit my job, and there wasn't like a backup. There wasn't a backup option. They're not like, oh, you can quit your job and then you can move here for this job. There was like no job opening, and I was like extremely sick. I think I was like sick for like, it was like a week straight where I would like try to go like even like grocery shopping, and I would get like really like faint and dizzy, and like I was like so weak. And that was really hard for me because my personality is, no, it's okay, I'll do it. And then HG Jr. was like, so do you need me to go grocery shopping? I'm like, no, it's okay, I'll do it. And then I ended up going grocery shopping and almost passing out in the store. So he ended up having to do a lot of stuff, and I wasn't used to that. I was used to doing it on my own. So I ended up quitting this job. And at that time, I think I was making like $21, $22 an hour. And I was a front desk. I was like a medical biller, like / medical assistant. And I was looking for a job, and I was trying to stay in the medical field because it's good opportunity in the medical field. And everywhere I went, every interview I had, they were like, oh, you work for this doctor? Oh, I know him. I've known him for 20 plus years. And oh, and I'm like, I don't want any connection. Like, I don't want, I want to be completely separated from that. And then Pastor was like, he sent me, he's like, look on Indeed. And when I looked on Indeed, I kept trying to do like medical. And each interview, it was like, oh yeah, we know this doctor. Oh yeah, is it okay if we call him and talk about you? And I'm like, oh, they're gonna probably not have the best things to say, because right now they're not really happy with just everything that's going on with the church and things like that. So. But I told them, yeah, you can call them anyway. And then I found this, oh yeah, and at the same time, we were living with Elder Janina and Elder Jeremiah, me and my husband, which was like kind of embarrassing. Like, not trying to be mean, but like, we don't want to go back to live with our parents, you know? Like, we're grown adults. We want to be able to live on our own, or at least, you know, not have to depend on our parents. So it was kind of like a very humiliating time for me. I felt very defeated. I was really sick. And then we ended up moving into assistant pastor's house and renting a room from there. And then right when I started feeling better, I ended up falling down the stairs and I hurt my back. So I was trying to do Instacart and I hurt my back. Like, I felt like I was just really irritated. Like, I was just so irritated. My back was hurting. I still didn't feel 100%. Instacart was really slow. We weren't making a lot of money, and we didn't have a lot of income coming in, and I was just like, I just felt really, really defeated. So then after Thanksgiving, and then like right around Christmas time, I ended up finding a job with what I do now as a registered behavior technician. And then I started that in January. So after I got this job, when I started, I was like, okay, it's just a job. I got it through the Indeed app that Pastor told me to look from. And this job, it completely like changed, like it opened up like my way of thinking like completely. I learned like so much about behavior and even about myself and things that I needed to address about myself. So as I was going, they first promised, yeah, we'll give you 40 hours right away. Once you get your certificate, we'll start you off at 22. And I'm like, cool, making the same amount of money, doing something that I really like. So I started it, and I got my certificate, and I was like, okay, where are my 40 hours at? They're like, sorry, we don't have many clients, so all we can give you, I think the most I got was like 33, and then even then, clients would cancel, and then I wouldn't have PTO to cover it, so it was like every month, it was like inconsistent with the money. And then it was like around the time when I did my liquid fast. Sorry. I felt like just like defeated because me and my husband, we were like, I'm like, what has changed in our life? And I know as a wife, it was because of me. I'm the one that needed to change. And then you guys already know the testimony when I was doing like my liquid fast. It was to the point where it was literally like I was like on the floor, and it sounds funny, I'm about to pass out, and I'm like, if I die. It sounds funny because it sounds dramatic, like, okay, you're not eating, just relax, you're not gonna die. But at that moment, I was really serious. like something like came over me where I was just like, you know what? I'm so tired of feeling like stuck. I'm so tired of like something happened where I like realized I was being so selfish because everything that I was doing was about myself, and I was worried about myself. And I wasn't thinking about how my actions affect my husband, how my actions affect my family, how my actions affect just everything. As a wife, I can see now like how important it is if, as a wife, if you don't get it right, it's like forget it. It's so important to have the determination as a wife, the determination to go all the way, even if it's hard. This was a long year from last November to now. It was a really hard year for me. Like me and HG Jr., it was like months of like, okay, like we don't know like how we're gonna get money for rent, or like, okay, like we're not gonna be able to buy like the best of the best groceries. Like, okay, let's look for what's on sale. Let's look for like maybe something that is a little bit like of a cheaper quality. And for me, I just felt bad because it was my decision and my choice on like why we were at that moment. So after my liquid fast, I was like so determined. I was like, even after my fast, with everything that I did every day when I woke up, I had the mindset of like, I have to give my best. I have to give my best. I have to give my full determination. Even if it's at work, with my husband, with my duties at church, everything, it completely changed, and it's just something came over me, and I had to 100% give my best to God, and He will take care of the rest. That's all that I was focused on. I was done focusing on, oh, poor me, look at how hard I have to work, and oh, look at all of this stuff. And that's BS. My thinking was so immature and so selfish, and then sorry. Thank you. So really after that determination and that mindset changed, it just felt like something just clicked. When I used to play softball, I was team captain when I was in high school, and some of these girls were like they've been playing longer than I have, and I remember it would just reminded me of this. We had to like go up this hill, and we had it was like 10 minutes for the whole thing to run the track, go up these 3 hills, and then like come down. And it was like raining, and we were going up this hill, and there was like these girls that were like running behind, and they were like, and so we were like, come on, like if we don't make it, then we have to do it all over again. And then we were like, come on. And they were like, I can't, like, it's too hard. And then I remember, like the girls, they were holding on to, like, the back of my pants. And I was, like, crawling up these hills. And this girl was holding on to my pants. And then the other girl was, like, holding on to her pants. And I was like, okay, I'm going to help you guys, but you have to help me help you. Because they were bigger than me. So they were, like, running out of breath and wheezy. So then it just reminded me of that moment of my life where even if it's hard for me, I still am the one that has to finish that because I'm the team captain for that team. So it's as my duty, it's not as a duty as a team captain, I'm not supposed to worry about finishing first. I'm supposed to worry about the people who can't finish. I'm supposed to worry about how are they gonna finish. So then even though like I was like one of the I was in the lead to go up, I still went back down to help these girls go, and then we ended up like finishing on time. So it just brought me back to that moment. So it just brought me back to that moment. It was like raining, it was like fall time, and it was like we were like freezing. So then I ended up having that same mindset. I ended up having that same mindset spiritually with my husband and spiritually for my family. If they're not able to make it, I'm the one that has to go back down there and grab them and make sure they finish. It's my job as a wife. It's God has chosen me out of my family to be the key, to be the one that's going to be determined to make the choice, to be determined to go all the way, no matter what it is. So then after like the water fast or the liquid fast, it was becoming okay at work. I was learning a lot, and but it just kept happening to where like the clients would either cancel or they would get me clients who were like really, really scared of COVID. So any little thing would like scare them and they wouldn't want anybody to come into their house. So I asked Pastor, I was like, this is what's going on. It's okay if I, look, to see if I can find something else. Pastor, Pastor, she's like, yeah, sure, okay, yeah. So I was like, okay, sure. So I ended up going on Indeed again, and I found the job where I'm at now. And it seemed really unreal. It's the same position, same everything, but instead of offering me like $21, $22, they're offering like $29. I was like, this is ridiculous. I was like, why are like none of the other registered behavior technicians like paying attention to this? I'm like, this is insane. And then I remember looking at it, and then my mindset was, oh, well, they're offering $29. I don't think I'm worth $29 an hour. I'm just not gonna apply. And then like I was about to like skip over it, and then I just like remember hearing like Pastor Steve's voice like, just do it. What's the worst that can happen? They say no? So then I was just like, what's the worst that can happen? They don't call me back? Like, then at least I, tried, right? So then I ended up applying, and then they actually called me back. And then they gave me one phone interview, and they were like, okay, we're gonna want another interview. And then instead of giving me like the other second interview, the career staff just texted me, and they're like, oh, you ended up getting it, so when can you start? And I was like, as soon as possible. They're like, okay, so I put my notice in for work, and this is where I'm working now. And it's like the most money I think a lot of people have made, like without a education, without going to college. I have like a certificate. This certificate is, honestly, it's not that hard to get. It's just, you have to just watch some videos and then pass this test, and then it's like, go ahead and work, and we're gonna offer you $29 for it. So I'm like, cool. And then, as I was doing more of this job, every day I just continued to just having the same mindset, like if I was in like the water or the liquid fast, just keep going. I have to give my best. If I'm tired, if something happens, whatever I'm doing, even if it's waking up at real early in the morning and making my husband lunch and breakfast for his work day, like I'm gonna give my best at it. Like I'm gonna give my best with everything. Even if at that time I was working in the kitchen, so even if I'm working in the kitchen, if I'm doing like prepping Sunday dinner, like I'm gonna give my best with everything that I have. And it was like what Pastor was preaching, it's the little things, something that may seem so little, like you see like water spilled on the ground, and you're like, oh, I didn't see that, I'm just gonna walk away. No, when I saw that water, I'm like, where's a rag? I need to wipe this water up right now. I'm like, I see it, I get to take ownership of it, I have to wipe it up. But it happened for like a season where I would always see water on the ground. Like, I would always see something spilling, so then I was like, okay, I'll just wipe it up. But now I don't see water on the ground anymore. I don't know if it was just like a test to see if I would actually like wipe it up, but every time I look now I see like someone else wiping it up, so then I'm like, oh, they saw it before I did, so they get to clean it. So, and then, so at that time last year, we were living with Elder Janina, Elder Senior, and during that time when Pastor Eugene texted me to quit my job, in my mind I was like, okay, this is scary, and I was like about to press the button, and I was like, I'm gonna quit my job. I was like, we don't have like what's gonna happen if I quit? And then I was just like, okay, shut up. And then I just and then I just sent the message, and And even though like that year was hard, I'm so grateful for what happened in that year. Like this, like for me, like this was like the fastest year of my life. Like it felt like just yesterday we were living at Elder's house, and like in my mind I was like, oh my gosh, like how am I gonna make money? How am I gonna do this? And then I was just like, okay, I know if Pastor Eugene or Pastor Steve would say to do something like that, they're not going to do it to be like, well, guess you got to quit your job. We think, like I know it's from God. I know it's something good is going to come out of it. So it was just the waiting part. And in that waiting part, what I'm doing in that waiting, what I'm giving of myself to God in that waiting. And even then, HD Junior we started on the same day, January 4, as a registered behavior technician, and he did his solar paneling both on January 4th. And then now it's like cold outside, it's raining, or even when it's hot, he's not doing solar paneling anymore. He's still working for Tesla, but he gets to do like an easy job and gets paid just as much. Like, and it hasn't even been a year yet, and not only does he know how to do solar paneling, he has like a Class B license, or no. Oh, he has like some type of license where he can drive like a special type of truck, and that they paid for it, and they trained him, and they paid for it themselves, and now he's like a roof inspector where he like may or may not go on the roof, and he just drives to the house and inspects it, and that's pretty much it. And he got a raise with that. So it was like all this stuff was happening, and I was like, it just seems all just to be happening so naturally. Like, but I know it wasn't like just a coincidence, like why it's happening. And then lastly, we got, Sue's the one that really told me, but Pastor said to move, and we're going to be getting our place with the wonderful family, the Vales. And and I was like, okay. Some places I was like Sue was like, do you want me to look somewhere else, or are you okay with living here? And me and HG Junior would have the same answer, like, if Pastor said whoever takes us, takes us. So if this is the place that takes us, then this is the place that takes us, regardless of what it looks like, the location. If this is the place, and this is the place. And then it ended up, we got like a really, like, it's not like brand new, but to me it's still really, really nice townhouse for a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, and for what they're charging, they should be charging way more for the area and the location. And just looking back and thinking from this time last year, I had no job. We were living with my in-laws, which is nothing wrong with it if you're starting off, but okay, yes it is. But I appreciate you guys letting us live with you. But it was like such an like very like low point of my life. And then just like looking back, and it was a little bit like a few weeks less than a year. But basically within the year, we went from there to having our like living in a townhouse, and now HG Junior is like getting moved at work, which is like a good thing, and then God is like really helping me learn so much with my job and with kids and I'm able to help other people, to me, it's like shocking. Because when me and HD Jr., when we first got here, we were like Dumb and Dumber. Like, like we didn't, just like about life, like we didn't know anything. Like Pastor had to literally teach us from nothing. And then the fact that God brought us here, to me, it's like amazing. And basically, the point of the testimony is being like 100% fully determined, even with the small things, even with the little things, even if you're tired, even if you're like, oh, this isn't gonna matter, like, so what? Like, come on. Like, do I really have to clean up that spill right there? Like, what's the worst that can happen? Yeah, it is that big of a deal. Just, is it that big of a deal to go get a rag and wipe it up for a couple of seconds? You know? It's not any time out of your day, just a few seconds. But to God, it's a huge thing. And I just kept focusing on those little things and then focusing on myself and then not focusing on myself in a selfish way, but focusing on myself on what I need to work on. And then I'm working on myself to also help my family around me, to bring them to God and to also bring them higher. And then now, after we got sorry, I feel like I'm rambling on, but after we got the townhouse, all of a sudden, my dad is like wanting to like stay in contact with me. Like HD Jr. knows, like he texts me all the time. Like he's just texting me like, I hope you have a great day. And he's even offering to like give us money for our move. And the first time since me and HD Jr. moved out here, I told my dad like what we were doing, like why, like what we were moving. And for the first time, he actually said like, I'm so proud of you guys. And my dad was like, you know, I can come see the house. And I was like, yeah, of course. And he was like, maybe I can come to church on Sunday and then we can go have dinner after. And I was like, oh, wait. So we are in the process of working on that, and I was very, very like shocked that he said that. He openly said that. I didn't say anything. Like I just told him we were moving, and he was really shocked because I'm 25 years old. So it's really, I'm still shocked. Me and AC Jr. will wake up and we're like, this is probably the biggest room we've ever lived in. And I'm like, and when I look at our bathroom, I'm like, it's so big. Our bathtub. I'm like, there's so much space while I'm taking a shower. I'm like, I've never had, like, to me, it's just unreal. Like, I'm like, me and AC Jr., we were like perfectly okay with going in like a small apartment in like the hood in Hayward. Like, Sue was like, we could look somewhere else. And then me and AC Jr. were like, the inside is very nice, and if she takes us, then let's do it, you know? Like, and then she's like, okay. And then I'll get another text message from Sue. I found another place, come look at it. But I was like, me and HD Jr., we came from the hood. This is nothing. So, but I'm very, very, very grateful, and it's still like a shock to me about just everything that's happening. And even through this, there were times where I felt like alone, like I didn't really hear God. Like not hear God. I'm not saying I hear God, but like, you know, like when you're in like this time of like stress, or like in this time of like the testing, and you're like, God, like where are you? Like I feel like he was like silent, you know, like he was just watching and just watching to see what I would do. And I'm like, okay, like I'm not getting any lead. Like, it took so long to like start a job, and it took so long for me to like have my back feel better and to like feel better after being sick. And I'm like, okay. But through this season, I just learned that full determination, especially as a wife, it's like nothing is impossible. So just praise God, and I'm just very thankful for all that He's done. Amen. So that's my twin sister. She no longer comes to the church.
But